In this video, entitled customer ignored sauna rules, claims lifeguard assaulted him, called the cops, tried to do a hit piece of journalism, and yelled at me for not handing over personal details of the lifeguard. My meal must be salt-free. And entitled parents think they can park in my driveway because their kids are cranky and want to get to the beach now, gets his car towed and nearly arrested. Entitled customer ignored sauna rules, claims lifeguard assaulted him, called the cops, tried to do a hit piece of journalism, and yelled at me for not handing over personal details of the lifeguard. I work in a swimming pool part-time on a weekend on top of a full-time job. I enjoy the change in work environments and the benefits that come with it. The pool has a sauna, steam room, and spa as well. The sauna is where it all started. This older gentleman, probably late 50s, early 60s, had started to rock up and use the sauna. Typically, there's no problem with this, but he likes to lie down and have a nap in the sauna and then crack it at staff members who check on him to make sure he's okay. He's been told multiple times that he's not to lie down and have a nap or ignore lifeguards when they ask him to give a sign that he's okay. One day, there was a rotation on pool deck. No problems. This lifeguard was a bit more diligent in his job and saw that head count for the sauna hadn't been updated for about 45 minutes. He sticks his head in the sauna and a lady in there tells him that the guy lying down hasn't moved for about 30 minutes since she arrived. The lifeguard immediately asked if he was okay. No response. Asked again. No response. Asked again, but louder and basically yelling for the person lying down to respond. No response. Lifeguard then started the Dr. ABCs and went for a response that involves tapping the person on the collarbone, yelling, "Are you okay?" after radioing that we have a possible major. Well, the old man was not happy in the slightest that this lifeguard had 1. Woken him up from his nap, and 2. Had viciously assaulted him. He went off his nutter and had a massive argument with the manager about what the lifeguard did, and he demanded that the lifeguard be fired for assaulting him in the sauna. The manager told him that it wasn't gonna happen, and so the old man stormed off to the change rooms. Came out about 15 minutes later, dressed, and told staff not to talk to him. After about 20 minutes of waiting in the foyer, the cops show up because they got a report that a person was assaulted in the sauna. They didn't even get to finish their sentence before he interrupted, yelling that he was the one who was assaulted, that it was the lifeguard out there who did it, and I demand that you arrest him for assault because management here won't do anything about it. One of the officers stayed and spoke to the manager and the man who went from yelling to sobbing about how he was viciously assaulted in the sauna, while the other officer went and spoke to the lifeguard who explained what he did. Cops left the facility and told the old man that they weren't arresting him or taking details because he was doing his job. The man promptly threw a massive tantrum as the cops left and ended up throwing a bin on the ground before storming out in tears. About 4 weeks later, a journalist from the local newspaper calls the facility because they have a story about the place and they were wanting to get a comment about it. The journalist said that this older man was assaulted in the sauna by a lifeguard and that the facility had done nothing about it, and the man was left bedridden for a week and he ended up in hospital because he had breathing difficulties and he was covered in bruises, and that he has a possible hairline fracture on his collarbone from the assault and he's really upset about it all. Management told the journalist what happened, and we sent her an incident report form about the incident along with a few others showing that the man has been told before not to sleep in the sauna and not to abuse staff who check on him, and if they put out a defamatory story then lawyers would be involved. Thankfully, the story was killed. Now on to me. I was working over the weekend and the man came in with some papers that he showed me that he got from lawyers. He then told me that he was suing the lifeguard who assaulted him in the facility for damages and that I had to hand over his full name, he only had the first name, address, phone number, and date of birth. I told him that I was unable to do that and that any legal action undertaken against a member of staff has to go through the council's legal team. This is a rough transcript of what he told me. OM, are you finished? Me, yes. OM, good. Now do your job and give me what I asked from you. Me, I'm not able to give you that information. If you want to... OM, are you incapable of doing your job? Me, no sir, I am not. OM, then do your job and give me the details of the man who assaulted me. Me, sir, I'm not allowed to give out any personal details. OM, this is for legal purposes. You're required to hand over the information of that lifeguard to me. Me, sir, don't yell. And no, I'm bound by contract not to give out any personal details of the staff here. Any legal action goes through the council's legal team. OM, I'm not suing the council, I'm suing that lifeguard who assaulted me. If you don't hand over the information, then I'll have to charge you and have you thrown into prison for obstructing the course of justice. Me. Go through the council legal OM. No, no. Stomping. Give me your name right now. Me. No. OM. You are bound, by law, I might add, to hand over the details of that man because it's for legal purposes. Me. Go through the legal OM. For the third time, I'm not suing the council, I'm suing that lifeguard. Now give me his details. By this time, management had heard the yelling and came down. Amazingly enough, a member of the council's legal team was there who tried to have a talk with the man, but he refused because I'm not suing the council, I'm suing that lifeguard. The man left yelling at customers about how the facility is defending a man who assaulted him in the sauna and left him hospitalized. As he left, he yelled that he'll be going onto social media to have this place shut down and that he had recorded the entire incident on a hidden camera. To date, it's been 3 weeks since the incident. Nothing has appeared on social media. In short, entitled customer ignored sauna rules, claims lifeguard assaulted him when they were doing their job, called the cops, tried to do a hit piece of journalism, and yelled at me for not handing over personal details of a lifeguard. My meal must be salt-free. This story is from a dinner party I hosted before the pandemic. I invited 6 folks, and shortly after the invites were sent, I received a call from Sally. Sally, not her real name, advised me that she was now on a salt-free diet due to medical reasons. She advised me that at home she cooked without any salt and gave me a speech about how wonderful salt-free life was. I was skeptical and advised her that I would personally find it difficult to give up all salt. Was she sure she wasn't on a low-sodium diet? Sally advised that unless her dish was salt-free, she wouldn't be attending. While telling her no was an option, I'm not that person. See, my previous malicious compliance. I was pissed off at Sally for years of being difficult at the dinner table in restaurants. Trust me, there was always something wrong with her meal, or its preparation, or the flavor, or the waiter, or whatever. With a smile so large you could hear it through the phone, I assured her that her request for salt-free was 100% going to be accommodated. On the dinner night, I prepped the meal. Sally was getting the same thing as everyone else with one critical difference. All of her food was prepped with separate containers, baked on separate racks, and seasoned with exactly the same flavors, sans salt. Dinner time and my guests arrive. I have all of Sally's food plated on white plates. Everyone else gets gray plates. First round. Appetizers. Fried calamari with a lemon jalapeno butter sauce. This dish typically has salt in both the batter and the sauce. As Sally couldn't have that, I battered her calamari in salt-free seasonings and flour. Her condiment looked exactly the same but was made with unsalted butter and no added salt. I put Sally's plate in front of her first, and she immediately states she asked for salt-free. I assured her that her dish is salt-free. I made sure to cook hers separate and even used a different colored plate to keep it straight. We all sit to talk and enjoy the squid. Sally takes a bite and makes a face. "Mine has no flavor," she exclaims. All of my other guests tell Sally it's divine, delicious, best they've had, etc. I smile at Sally and assure her that her dish was flavored exactly as everyone else. The only difference is that she received absolutely no salt. It's at this point that Sally has a moment of clarity. It's painfully obvious on her face. She realizes she can't complain about the lack of salt as she's already told the table about her salt-free life. She also can't claim it tastes terrible if everyone else is raving about the food. She literally looks like she was about to cry at the table. As my guests enjoy their dinner, Sally is slowly doing the toddler plays with food munch and pushing her calamari around the plate. After a few moments, she reaches for the sauce that I made for everyone else. "Sally, be careful. The salt-free sauce is in the white bowl. That one has salt." She mumbles something about wanting to taste the difference before literally dumping the bowl on her calamari. She then exclaims how much better it tasted. You and I know that, of course. Things taste better with salt. So this drama repeated itself over the main course of honey roasted salmon with pine nuts. I also am no heathen and had both salt and pepper on the table for my guests. I'm not going to judge you for needing more flavor. Here we go. Sally takes a bite of her fish and once again realizes that it has no salt. She reaches for the salt shaker and conversation stops. Another guest asked Sally if she was okay with adding salt to her food. She says that she can occasionally have salt. She proceeds to shower her fish with salt sprinkles. I also bake some cookies for dessert. The dough uses a little salt. I made sure to whip up a separate batch of cookies wrapped to go for her. Salt-free, of course. When I handed her those cookies, the look of defeat that hit her face warmed my heart. Dinner is over. Everyone is happy except Sally. I called her the next week to make sure she was okay as she consumed sodium at my party. Sally told me her doctor has removed her sodium restrictions and she won't need that accommodation at future meals. On the phone, I congratulate her for her good health. When I hang up, I laugh until my sides hurt. Salt-free life apparently doesn't taste good when the salt is actually omitted. Entitled parents think they can park in my driveway because their kids are cranky and want to get to the beach now. Gets his car towed and nearly arrested. I used to live on the bottom floor of a two-story house in a very popular beach town in North Carolina. I was mid-20s. The upstairs was rented out to 4 college-aged guys. So 5 people, 5-car driveway built for 4. So one of us would either be on the grass or in a paid spot. If you had bills with your name and address, the city would give you a pass to park in certain paid spaces. So not a big deal, but finding a spot in the middle of summer was hard. The house is maybe 100 yards to the beach, pretty short walk, 5-minute tops with beach gear and little ones. I would leave to work at 6:30 a.m. and return around 5 or 6 p.m. By the time I got home, most of the crowds would be gone, so a paid spot was easy for me to get. So I typically leave the driveway for the upstairs guys. One day, I was running late and didn't get out of my house till nearly 8. The other guys have left and the driveway's empty. I'm walking out to my car and of course the lots are already 90% full or more. As I'm crossing the street, I see a minivan coming up and pull into my driveway. I didn't recognize it, so I waited to see if I knew them or they knew the upstairs guys. Out steps polo shirt, visor, bowling short dad, and overly peppy mom with 3 screaming kids. Obviously, no one I know. I backtrack up. Excuse me, do you know the tenants upstairs or have permission to park there? EM. It doesn't matter, no one's parked here and Billy, Bobby, and Brandy have to get to the beach. Me. There's 5 people living here, myself included, and we need to be able to park. EM. Oh, so where's your car if you live there? Me. In that spot there because I have a pass and ED. Don't lie to us. You're here just the same as us and upset we know how to park for free. Me. I'm not lying. Dude, it's 8 a.m. I'm wearing my work uniform. EM. We don't need to listen to you. We're gonna park and you can do whatever you want. My children have to get to the beach. You're ruining our vacation, so go away. Meanwhile, the kids are climbing on my fence and trees in and out of the street. Me. Okay, I'll just have you towed and you can deal with it later. ED gets in my face practically nose to nose. Try it and see. This isn't your house. You're just a little shit. Mind you, I'm 5'11 and roughly 190 pounds, fairly good shape. Me. Okay, have a nice day. So I went to my car and waited till they were pretty much at the beach like I said. Very short walk. So I go inside, look up a tow service on the other side of town. Hello, yes, I'd like to report a car illegally parked on my property. Address, 123 street name? Sir, that's an hour away. Yeah, I know, I'm not paying. That's their problem. Okay, be there in about half an hour. Called my boss, not gonna be in today. Explained what happened. He's a pretty easygoing guy. Told me to keep him informed. Tow truck arrives, van gone. I leave my car in the spot and wait. It's about 10:30 a.m. by now. Sometime around 2 or 3 p.m., there's a very angry knock at my door. Internal thoughts, this is gonna be fun. Imagine the shock when I answered the door, bear in mind grinning like an idiot. Me, can I help you? ED and EM. Where is our van? How did you get here? Me. Oh yeah, here's the card. Had it towed across town. Gonna be a fun cab ride. Shut the door in their face. More angry, yelling, and knocking. Me. Yes? ED. Trying to get in my house. You better get us our van back. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'll have you arrested. Me. Get out of my house and call the cops. Not gonna change anything. I managed to shove him out of the door, get it closed and locked. Now I wait. Next 20 minutes are more angry knocking and yelling. Finally, about 4 p.m.ish, I see some blue lights and there's a much more polite knock at my door. I grew up on the beach. It's a small number of locals. I know 70% of the locals. Police, bartenders, shop owners, residents. I know a lot of people on the island. Me. Oh, hey Garrett, how's it going? G, yeah, it's good. These people say you stole their van and broke into this house? Me, nope, they pulled into the driveway as I was leaving for work, pulled an attitude, walked away, said I couldn't do anything, so called Lou on the other side of town. Van's there. I even gave him his card and offered to let them use my phone. EM, he's lying. He stole our car. I demand he be arrested. ED, storming up behind the officer. If you don't arrest him, I'll have you fired. This is ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. G, sir, back up. I'm gonna figure this out. ED, now shoving past the officer. This is bullshit. Working his way into my house again. Garrett is able to pull him out and manages to get him pressed up against his cop car. Sir, you're trespassing now. Looking over at me. Would you like to press charges? Me, can you keep him in the car until they get a cab? G, yeah, I've got to get statements and everything. So I gave my statement, went inside, grabbed a beer, went out the back door, up the back steps and around to the second floor porch. And there I sat smiling till a cab came about 5 to 5:30. My upstairs neighbors showed up, but they didn't play any part in the story.